Welcome, Ramney. How are my Rams super fans doing today? Today we're previewing the Rams versus the Dallas Cowboys. Let's get right into it. Now let's start out by talking about the injury report. Normally this is a very quick portion of the video, but unfortunately for Rams fans, that won't be the case today. Our team has been completely decimated by injuries. Not to use that as an excuse, but honestly guys, it's the truth. Last game our secondary was down to Jalen Ramsey and safety Taylor Rapp. Our second, third, and fourth cornerbacks were all gone with injuries. Our number 2 cornerback Troy Hill will remain on IR and will miss this game against the Cowboys. Cornerbacks David Long Jr. and rookie Jacoby Durant both missed week 4 and are questionable for week 5. Hopefully we can get at least one of them back for this game. And safety Jordan Fuller sustained a hamstring injury and will miss 4 to 6 weeks. And last week against the 49ers, safety Jordan Fuller sustained a hamstring injury and will miss 2 to 4 weeks. Now even though our secondary is severely beaten up right now, what's even worse is our offensive line. Before the season started, I had major concerns about the depth of our offensive line if someone gets hurt. Not only did someone get hurt, but 3 starters have gotten hurt and 2 backups. We are in a place where we are grabbing players off the practice squad right away and lining them up across stars like Joey Bosa, or in this case, even worse, Micah Parsons. Starting center Brian Allen is expected to be back soon from a minor knee surgery, but according to reports, he may sit out 1 more week. Our starting guard, moved to center, Coleman Shelton, sustained a high ankle sprain and will miss 4 to 6 weeks. And our starting left guard, David Edwards, missed last game with a concussion, but he does have a chance to suit up against the Cowboys. Now the Cowboys are in a lot better shape than we are. They obviously had the big major injury to Dak Prescott. He's pretty much already been ruled out, so quarterback Cooper Rush will get the start. As a Rams fan, I wouldn't just go jumping for joy though. Cooper Rush has proven that he's more than capable of winning games. He's currently 5-0 as a starter in this league, and he's been putting up some pretty decent numbers along the way. In my opinion, he's easily one of this league's better backup quarterbacks. We also have starting safety Jaron Kearse, defensive tackle Quentin Bahana, and wide receiver Noah Brown, who are all questionable against the Rams. Now let's talk about what I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm looking forward to seeing how Sean McVay plans on coaching this team up. With this makeshift offensive line, we are going to need a perfect game plan to keep Stafford on his feet. 80% of the passing plays have to be designed to get the ball out of Stafford's hands very quickly. Everything should be a 2 to 3 second release, especially with the lack of a running game. This is going to be key in moving the ball down the field. So I'll be keeping a close eye on McVay's play calling this week. Now let's get into matchups and talk about this passing attack versus this passing defense. The Rams are currently 19th in passing yards per game, averaging about 225 yards. Now Dallas's defense is pretty good this season, only giving up 171 passing yards per game, good for 6th best in the NFL. And if their pass rush can get to Stafford throughout this game, they could easily improve on that number. On the flip side, Dallas's offense is only averaging 208 passing yards per game, while the Rams defense is giving up 249 yards per game through the air. While I do think Cooper Rush is an adequate quarterback, I don't expect him to get into a shootout this week. Even with a banged up secondary, defensive coordinator Raheem Morris has proven to be able to scheme up a pretty good game plan around this defense. Now let's take a look at the rushing offense versus the rushing defense. Dallas is averaging 104 rushing yards per game, while the Rams defense is only giving up 92 yards per game on the ground, good for 7th best in the league. And that's while facing mobile quarterbacks in 3 out of 4 of our matchups: Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, and Marcus Mariota. With the offseason addition of Bobby Wagner, the best thing this team does is stop the running game. I don't foresee Pollard and Elliott having a huge day. On the flip side, the Rams running game is non-existent. Outside of 2 drives against Arizona, this team has been flat out terrible on the ground, averaging an embarrassing 68 rushing yards per game. That's good for 30th in the league. It honestly doesn't matter how good Dallas's run defense is. Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson won't be able to run against them. They simply can't run against anyone. I hate to be harsh, but I'ma just call it what it is. The way this is going, I expect both Akers and Henderson to be on different rosters next season if this continues. Even when this offensive line is opening up holes for them, these running backs go down at first contact every time. They literally are incapable of making a defender miss. Their yards after contact has to be 0 this season. It's really hard to watch. And of course, the other matchup I can't wait to see is Jalen Ramsey on CeeDee Lamb. I'm sure Ramsey won't shadow him all game as the Rams play a lot of zone defense, but they will definitely match up a bit. Now let's get into my prediction. Last week against the 49ers, the Rams gave up 7 sacks for a loss of 54 yards. The way this O-line looks, we might see a lot more of that against Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence. If that happens again, I don't see the Rams winning this game. Matter of fact, if that happens again, there's no way the Rams win this game. Now, I do expect this to be an old school defensive game, a very close, very low scoring matchup. I honestly think it could go either way, but I have a lot of faith and belief that Sean McVay will cook up a game plan to help alleviate some of our offensive line issues, and our defense will do just enough to squeeze by. I got the Rams 20, Cowboys 17. Thank you for watching, and click right here for more Rams content.